Well, folks at home, you know what time it is. It's technically like 7:45 in the morning, but I wasn't talking about the time of day. It is time for the return of tourney season. Let's go! So tourney season is back, one of my favorite series to do here on the channel, and that's to document the tournament bass fishing experience, most of which took place in my college bass fishing years. And I've basically taken a year off of tournaments. And it wasn't that I don't like tournaments, it's just that I've got a ton going on in my life. From getting married to getting the channel going full time, I haven't made the time to fish any tournaments since college until today. Well, tomorrow, I guess. Today's the pre-fishing day. This tournament is a little different than usual. This is a big bass tournament put on by Strike King and Lew's, two of course, the sponsors here on the channel, here on the mighty Sam Rayburn Reservoir in East Texas. I have not fished Sam Rayburn since this catch right here. Yes! Woo! That tournament was the last time that I was on Sam Rayburn. Well, actually, take that back. I fished it with Todd here. Oh. 8 for 8. But that tournament was the last time that I really spent time breaking down a body of water and really trying to figure out where those fish are to do the best that I possibly could in a tournament. And so that's what today's video is going to be. I'm going to show you guys my process in the 5 or so hours that I have here on the water before we have to head off the water and do a little meet and greet with Strike King at a tackle shop. But I feel like I know enough about Rayburn. I heard it's fishing tough right now, but I feel like I know enough to have some sort of basis going into it. Weather conditions right now, we've got overcast. It's probably 50 degrees outside, maybe 45. A little bit chilly this morning. There's another tournament on the water because it's a Saturday, which is a bummer, but there's boats everywhere. Water temp is 52.5, which means that it's not quite full-blown pre-spawn. Fish aren't gonna be up shallow chasing a lipless crankbait, but they might be on that slightly deeper grass. And so my tournament partner, Jacob, for this tournament, he's in his boat pre-fishing a different section of the lake, and I'm fishing basically a brand new section. I'm gonna fish almost all pockets, ditches, coves that I've never been in before, and hopefully discover some fish and catch them for you guys. So we're gonna get some rods out of the old Skeeter rod box and get this day going. I am running an angler trip today. So if y'all are unfamiliar with what the angler system is, it is a GPS little puck right here that connects to a mobile app that you can use to break down your bodies of water, whether you're pre-fishing for a tournament, fishing a tournament, or just going out for fun. And so I have this connected to my phone right now. Every time I catch a fish or see something really, really good, like a group of fish or a really good grass line, I'm gonna press this right here. That way when I go back to the hotel tonight, I can look at my phone and see if there are any kind of patterns to where I caught those fish that can clue us in on how to catch them better tomorrow. So I use Angler all the time, especially when I'm fishing tournaments and new bodies of water. I'll leave it linked in the description below. But enough talking, let's get to fishing. So the first place we are fishing today is going to be your standard pre-spawn area. This here is a relatively smaller main lake, little creek. I have a little ditch on the creek, a smaller little offshoot, I don't know, 150, 200 yards that goes in there, and a point there, all little tiny ditches. And so I feel like this is a really good area to focus on, especially because A, it's got good grass, as I saw down on my live scope, and B, because those big creeks take a long time to search through sometimes. And so I would prefer to work as many little ditches and points as I can and see if I can find groups of fish within closer proximity to each other than the ones in the big creeks. So that's what I'm doing. Just going to cover a little bit of water, look on my live scope down there to see if I can see any groups of fish as I'm trolling. But I really just want to cover some water. Go ahead and skedaddle to a different spot. I'm just going to entertain the thought real quick that the fish might be in the hay grass. Probably not, but you know what? This is practice, folks. That's why we do these things. In the off chance that I stumble upon something wild. All right, so we're eliminating the hay grass. But at least I could say that I tried. Will spot 3 be the magic spot that I catch a fish, maybe? Maybe not. So I pulled in this pocket here because it looks delicious and juicy, but that one looked a little more delicious, a little more big in Main Lake, so I thought, you know what, I'll fish this one, then go to that one. But some doofus just pulled in there. That's Rayburn on a Saturday for you. Is you're like, oh, that spot looks good. I'll hit it in 3 minutes. Nope. Someone else is gonna hit it right now. Spot 3 is a no. Now keep in mind, when I say spot, I just mean in location that I'm trying, because I don't have any spots anymore. All of my personal Rayburn stomping grounds are farther up lake, or they're completely out of the water, because the good tournament that Garrison and I had, the water was like 9 foot flooded. So all the areas we fished don't actually have any water on them right now. So I'm kind of fishing this thing blind. Hopefully Jacob's figuring something out. And a fish or grass? That's a fish. That's a fish. Oh, let's go. Oh, let's go. My first one of the day. Yeah. It is definitely not one that I want to be weighing in a tournament, that's for sure. It is a chunky 2-pounder. But you know what? It's on the jerkbait. Something I thought these fish might be keying in on because had a little bit of a cold front, water's a little colder than I think it has been by a few degrees, and looks like the old Jerky J got us our first bass of the day. So we're gonna, of course, go a ding on my hat. That marks a waypoint on the Angler app, and beautiful fish. Thank you, friend. All right, so I didn't get skunked today. Let's go. A few pockets ago, I did see a rather large fish on live scope follow my jerkbait all the way back to the boat. So that's why I picked up the jerkbait first in this pocket, because I assumed that if fish were chasing it somewhere else, they might chase it here. And that fish ate it. So again, maybe this is just a singular fish, but I hope there's more fish in an area. Usually in the pre-spawn, where you find one, you find a few more. So I have this place marked. Might as well mark a waypoint on my graph as well. But a fish is a good sign no matter how big it is. And that fish was healthy, which means there's definitely forage around here that it's feeding on, which makes me think there's probably other bass as well. But pre-fishing for a tournament is really all about just eliminating water and trying as much stuff as you can. And on a day like today, I don't even have that much time left to practice because I got to get to a meetup. But you want to make the most out of your time and not fish areas for too long. So it is 11:15. I literally have 2 more hours to fish, which is not ideal, but it is nice that I have a partner for this tournament, and he's been out here yesterday and all day today. So hopefully he can find a few more things and kind of carry the weight for this team, because I am slacking. Another huge part of practice is just kind of like familiarizing yourself with the body of water. That way you're not showing up and expecting it to be clear water, or expecting it to be dirty water, or whatever conditions you're expecting. At least spending a few hours out here, I kind of understand what's going on with these fish, and it'll kind of clear my mind for when the tournament comes around, that I don't make a lot of those poor decisions on the water to fish certain areas, to stay in certain areas for too long, that I would make if I hadn't pre-fished. So pre-fishing isn't always about finding fish. That's great. You want to find fish. But I think it's more about just getting your mind right with this body of water. Because I thought Rayburn was going to be a little warmer, a little bit clearer water, but no. We got dirty cold water, which is just not great. That's a fish. No way. No, it's grass. It's gotta be grass, right? No, it's a fish. Oh my gosh. That's funny. I think he ate it on the fall because I hadn't even started retrieving it yet. And again, Not a big one, but healthy. It's good to see Rayburn bass be that chunky right now, as they should be. All right, we're gonna do a little ding on my hat to mark this spot as well. Okay, that's on the chatterbait. Very interesting. I don't really have a clue as to what these fish are doing. They're in 5 to 6 feet of water. That's what I think. At least the two that I've caught are. Maybe the bigger ones are not. But that's what I know so far. I don't know why they're there. I don't know how to catch multiple fish in one area. I've so far just caught one. And if it sounds like I'm rambling, it's because I am. And that's honestly kind of the point of my practice videos, is just to kind of put all of my words out there, throw them against the wall, and see if something pops into my head that can help me locate more bass, because so far I have not had a whole lot of success. They should be, as the classic pre-spawn East Texas goes, in these little ditches here. So let me pull up my chest mount and show you guys again what a ditch is. Right here we have the main river. Then we have a little, main lake creek right here. And then inside that creek we have little offshoots like this, and the fish should be sitting in these little things called drains right here. They also could be on kind of these more subtle drains that kind of stick out, that maybe there's a grass line that the map can't quite see that's more defined in there. So I'm going to test out some of those before I head in. But that's generally the pattern for pre-spawn bass here in East Texas, is those fish are sitting in those drains feeding on bait fish. They can easily slide up to spawn if they want to, or slide out back to the main channel of the creek they're in. I just think these fish are getting a lot of pressure right now. Tournaments are going on like crazy, multiple times a week. We got a tournament today, so a lot of these fish are seeing the same stuff. I just got to figure out an area that has multiple fish to really pick apart. So I come to this arm of the lake. I don't even know what arm it's called. Let me zoom out of my map so maybe you guys who live around here can tell me. But it's the one all the way to the right on Rayburn. Well, it's not really north to south, but you get the picture. The one all the way to the right. It's got mill, sand, trout, whatever. And there's not a lick of grass back here. So I don't know if that's the way this place is always, or maybe there's just no grass here this year. Don't know what the deal is, but I'm gonna give the whole spinnerbait on bushes thing a try just for a second, because I'm an open-minded individual. You know what? I don't close off different ideas. People that are different than me, I don't close that off. I like to think outside the box. And a spinnerbait on cypress trees is kind of outside the box for this time of the year at least. But here at Sam Rayburn, you gotta try them all. All right, that was a bust. I gotta stop doing bust things. We got like half an hour left to fish. I'm gonna go spend every remaining second in some grass. Well, that's good looking grass. That is what I like to see. So what I'm looking for in these drains are just irregularities. I don't want to see the same, V-shaped pocket going back with a V-shaped drain going into that pocket. I want to see some kind of funky looking turns, contour lines. So that's why I've stopped at this one right here, because it's not that big. As you can see, it's not that big of a drain. As a matter of fact, it's not even a creek at all. It's just like a little cut, but it does have a good looking contour line thing going on here, as opposed to the rest of the bank, which is just V. This one's a little bit different, so that's why I stopped here. On lakes like this, I think it's all about finding a group of fish, and I just haven't found a group of fish yet. But you can stumble upon them at any time. I mean, the tournament that was won here a few weeks ago was won offshore, as most tournaments are nowadays, but a lot of the guys that did well in the tournament fished grass, and I think they just got lucky and found the schools of fish in the grass. And I gotta hope for the same luck myself, especially with the limited knowledge I have of this fishery right now. But we're gonna give it our all. 20 more minutes. Last cast of practice, right there. I don't really know what to say, other than I hope Jacob found something, because I am totally blind going into this tournament. I really think it's just, you gotta cover enough water until you finally run into a group of fish, and in the 5 hours of fishing I had today, I didn't have enough time to run into a group of fish. But you know what? That's the cool thing about bass fishing, anything is possible. And so hopefully tomorrow we can have a little bit of that luck that is always needed to do well in tournaments. Although putting in good preparation helps the luck come about more often. We probably didn't put in that much, or at least I didn't put in that much prep. Ugh. But that's okay, because we're still gonna catch them, trust me. Alrighty folks, we are back at the ramp. We're gonna put my clothes away because I'm getting too hot, so we'll take my jacket, my bibs off, grab a snack real quick, and head over to the meet and greet, which Strike King and Lose have put together for myself and MLF Pro Todd Faircloth to meet and greet with some fans, as well as have them, you know, do a last minute registration for the tournament. So it'll be a fun time. I don't know how much of it we'll film, but probably some of it. We'll probably do some giveaways. It's been a while since I've done an actual like in-person meet and greet, so it'll be cool to be in that atmosphere again. But again, this practice day was not altogether, you know, amazingly successful, but hopefully Jacob figured something out, and I feel like we're gonna be able to fly by the seat of our pants tomorrow and catch some dang fish. So we'll see you guys in the meet and greet. So we are sitting here in the boat enjoying this beautiful February weather. It's I don't know, 65 degrees outside, just cold enough to have my Infinite Outdoors Reaper sweatshirt on, but I'm just really excited for tomorrow. You know, I haven't fished a tournament in a long time, and who knows how we're gonna do. You know, I think the game plan for tomorrow is just gonna be fish the heck out of some grass. That's where I caught both of my fish today, around some shallow grass. And so from talking to some guys that fished around here that fished today in a high school derby, which by the way, there were 400 boats in a high school tournament. I mean, like I've heard of that, but just to be on the water with that many boats is pretty nuts. And so tomorrow should be probably a little bit less fishing pressure, but we're just gonna throw a trap and throw a jerkbait and throw a chatterbait all day in the grass and hope for a big bite to show up, because this is a big bass format. We're gonna be weighing in fish every single hour. We're gonna weigh in a fish at some point during the day, no matter how big it is, because they have random drawings throughout the day for anybody that weighs in fish. But I'm gonna rig up some 40-pound braid on a reel, because I heard that the fish out here, at least recently, aren't too line shy when it comes to biting. And so I wanna be able to feel the chatterbait in the trap a lot more than I have been feeling it. So I'm gonna rig this up, go back to hanging with some fans that show up, and I'm just pumped. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button. I love taking you guys not only on my instructional adventures, teaching you guys more about fishing, but of course teaching you about the tournament side and having a blast traveling around the country doing that. I don't do it as much as I used to. The Tourney season series is definitely smaller than it used to be, but I'm so glad that it's back. And of course, we're gonna have one awesome Tourney season episode coming up for you guys next. So that's about it. My name's Tyler. Thanks for watching TRF, and we'll see you guys next time.